Hi everyone, welcome to the Cronkite News Thursday Twitch stream. I'm Emma Parkhouse. I'm going to be one of your co-hosts for today. We're going to take you behind the scenes and teach you guys what it's like to be a Cronkite News anchor live in studio and doing it during a global pandemic. So today we're also going to be co-hosting with Tyler Manion, who's in our Cronkite News studio. He's going to be following Jenna De La Torre and Reed Harmon. You can see him right there on the screen. Right now, they're not going to be answering their questions just yet. They're practicing their scripts and getting ready to film for our show. Anytime you want to watch Cronkite News, you can catch it at 5:30 p.m. on Arizona PBS. So from the Richmond, we have hello from Mexico, Cronkite alumni here. Just got a nice wave from Tyler Manion. He's going to be the co-host anchoring with me today. As I said, you can see Jenna De La Torre waving over to us and Reed Harmon over there. Shout out to our alumni tuning in. We'd love to always hear back from you guys and have you in studio with us when we can. From Faith Abercrombie, she said, yay, Faith. Thank you for tuning in, you guys. Hope you're all having an amazing Thursday. And thank you to all of our Twitchers that are on here. If you are on Twitch, if you don't have an account, make one. It's free, it's easy, and be sure to follow Cronkite News. You can also follow the Cronkite Sports page, get all the updates, everything that you're going to need to know. Tyler, are you in the studio? Can you hear us? I don't think he's there. He's not ready. For our Twitchers that are streaming live with us, there is a chat bar on the side for anyone who has not used it before. Drop any questions you have for us on there. Let us know. Yes. Questions for the anchors, questions for us about Cronkite News. Tyler, how's it going in the studio? We got some waves from them. So right now what you'll see Jenna and Reed doing is they're running through their headlines. So these are going to be when you're watching Cronkite News, you're going to see them introduce different packages or videos that our reporters work on for the show. They're going through that. They always do a practice run, and then we actually film the show later in the afternoon so that we can air it on Arizona PBS at 5:30 p.m. For myself personally, I'm a money reporter. So I do different stories and packages on finances that affect Arizona. Those are packages that you can see on Cronkite News as well. Reed and Jenna are also reporters for the show. So they do their reporting packages and they go out and film, edit everything together. But in the meantime, they also do anchoring. Everything that you hear in studio. So we're doing 2 locations to stream this to you right now too. So I'm in a different room live in the studio, and then they are in the Cronkite News studio. We have a nice little iPad and camera crew set up over there, so you guys can get a consistent behind the scenes track of what they're doing and what they're working on as well. Now, sometimes Twitch can be a little tricky, and this is part of a new innovation series that we're working on because for those of you that don't know but should know, Arizona State University is and always will be #1 in innovation. So we're trying to consistently up the different platforms that we're using and the content that we bring to you guys in the way that we do it. So using Twitch, we're trying to try out something new, something fun, an easier way for you guys to be interactive with us because we like to tell your stories, but we love to hear from you as well. So drop those questions in the chat, hang out with us, see what all of our reporters and our anchors are doing while they're on the screen. We're going to be communicating with Tyler throughout this process, but just know there is a little bit of a delay while we're talking to him, so we're going to try and make it work for you guys. So while we're waiting for Tyler to jump over to some questions, I'm just going to talk to you guys about the Cronkite School. Oh, Reed and Jenna are here. We love them. They're going to try and jump in and talk to you guys any chance that they get as soon as they have it in between catching up on those headlines and practicing for the show because we want it to be as well done for you guys as we can. So they're hard at work over there. If you noticed, it is COVID and they don't have masks on, but it's because we're keeping them at least 6 feet apart. Practicing COVID safety in the newsroom is a big deal for us. We sanitize everything as soon as we get here. Before we leave, we also all wear masks. I'm in the studio also working with one of our technical directors, so I have a mask on. He has a mask on. Keep it as safe as we can. And then during the show, we keep all of our anchors separate. Faith, thank you so much for asking questions. Why do the anchors hold iPads? iPads are very, very important. So they have what's called the rundown on there. So it lists what we have going on for the show so they know what's coming up within the newscast. And you can't see them right now, but the teleprompters, what they read off of, if those happen to go down or go out, it also has all of the anchor scripts on there. So they're able to know what they need to read. They can look down just in case the one that's attached to the camera goes out. Looks like Tyler's going to start moving us around here a little bit. And for those of you that don't know, you're seeing Reed Harmon's snazzy suit. It's a great fit. He dresses like this every day, you guys. He looks this good every day. His suits are phenomenal. He wanted us to tell you he wears a size 13 shoe. He loves it. They have oh, there we go. Check out the kicks. If you want to sponsor Reed, Vans are his favorite. Again, size 13 shoe if you want to send him some. But we're getting a nice good look at what he's wearing today. Again, they have a little bit of delay, so they are not sure. All right, and then just to give you guys, since we can't really jump right into getting to know Reed and Jenna a little bit, I'm going to give you a few facts about them just so you can start learning about who our anchors are before we get a chance to speak with them as well. So Reed, he is a SoCal boy. He's from Southern California. He is a transfer student, so he just started recently here at the Cronkite School, but he's crushing it as always. He's a sports journalism major, so he's looking to work in sports a little bit more, but he is doing a sports degree and working in news for Cronkite News at the moment. His dream job is to work for the NFL Network, and his favorite show is The Office. So we're going to have Reed graduating in May, so we will be losing him here in a few months, but he puts out great content for us. We love having him in the newsroom as well. For Jenna, she is studying broadcast journalism. Great example as to why she's an anchor. She's only a junior, so we get to have her for a whole extra year. So if you guys continue to follow Cronkite News on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, our regular webpage, Instagram, Twitch, and you can find us on TikTok, you'll probably get to see Jenna in a lot more stuff. So definitely keep up with that. And it looks like we have another comment from Jordan, SoCal Transfer Represent. We do. So at the Cronkite School, you can transfer your credits. You can go to a junior college or university and then come over here and join us at ASU. Cronkite is an amazing school to attend, one of the best in the country for journalism. So definitely check it out if you're thinking about it. If you're a journalism student or you don't know what you want to major in and you're just working on those gen ed credits, take a look into Cronkite, take a look into journalism. You can do public relations, social media. You could be a travel journalist. You could do so many things with this degree. It's very entertaining. What made me want to personally go to Cronkite was I am an Arizona girl. I'm born and raised here. I always knew I wanted to go to Arizona State. I just didn't know what I wanted to major in. Back in, I think it was like 8th grade, I did school news, something just totally corny, but ended up being one of the most fun times I've ever had. Progressed into doing that through high school, did some baseball broadcasting, learned a lot about color coordination and statistics and analytics for sports. Got into doing news from there as well, and then journalism kind of fell into my lap through the university I always wanted to attend. So it's a perfect backyard place to be, and then for anyone in the country to come here as well. Let's see if we can check back in with Tyler, Jenna, and Reed and see if we can get any comments from them going. All right, let's take a look at some of these new comments we have over here. Oh, we're back. Okay, so looks like they're done running through some headlines, so we're going to try and get over here with Reed and Jenna. And again, they have about a 20-second delay, so communicating with them just takes an extra second. But do we have any questions for the anchors that we want to see from you guys?
I'll tell you.
So looking right now, how do you become an anchor? So when you do it, we actually do an anchor audition process that you have to go through. We have a whole practice day.
Become an anchor. The process is everyone gets the opportunity to try out. Whether you're a reporter, digital, whatever it is, you have the opportunity to try out. And then they pick, I think it's 8 anchors in a week. It's 2 every day. So they pick 10 anchors out of whoever amount to try out. Just based on, being working and, how you are feeling and things like that. So,
Perfect. And you just heard it from Reed, one of our anchors, how you become an anchor. So it's an entire audition process that you go through, and then there's kind of a deliberation between the directors. They take that opportunity to select someone or 2 people each day. So we do have 10 anchors. There are 2 Monday through Friday, and they're all different, so more students get the opportunity to do that. We also have fill-in anchors just in case someone isn't here. I love the forks up comment. You're right, ASU baby, we're here. For Coyote 5698, you are on the correct Twitch stream. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. And thank you to Richie Man for confirming that for him. We love to see the teamwork on here. And Tyler, I'm not sure if you can hear us in the studio over there, but if you get a chance, I think we would love to talk to Jenna as well and just ask her a few questions in between running her headlines. Tyler's in the building.
yes.
And Tyler, while you're here,
So we're going to talk to Jenna. The thing is, they're both reading through scripts right now.
Tyler, while you're here,
Go ahead, Emma.
only thing I think you can demonstrate is the way we warm up before all of the shows. Very important to have good energy, good vibes. We want everybody to be in a happy mood. There's only one way to do that.
Yes.
Only one way. And it's a dance party. So before every newscast, we put on a good song. Everybody dances it out. Tyler's a great dancer, and I think he should give us a good example of it, just so you viewers at home know exactly what it looks like to be in this studio. There you go. Jenna's rocking out. We love it. Tyler, do you have a favorite song that you like to do pre-show?
Ooh. Favorite pre-show song? Favorite pre-show song? You can both use it. Alright, mine is Handsome by Chance the Rapper, because it talks about being handsome. And it makes me feel good about myself before I go on TV. You have a favorite pre-show song? Yeah.
Psycho Pill by Cronkite. I want everyone to hold listen to that song.
Psycho Pill by Cronkite Disease. Yeah, I do have a favorite pre-show song. Jennifer's the best. I know the better by Timmy Paul. She's the real alternative.
All right, so we got the vibes going in the studio when we're listening to music. We've done anything from Lizzo to Taylor Swift. It gets pretty crazy in there because these are just an awesome group of people. For those of you that don't know, Tyler is also one of our anchors, but he's our weatherman. So on Tuesdays, I believe, is the day that you can catch Tyler on Cronkite News. He ad-libs. So what that means is there's no script for weather. When he does weather, it's a complete green screen. You can't see anything. He just sees it on a mirrored monitor, and he does that, and he just live or pre-recorded. He wings it every day and he says what comes to mind. So when you see those broadcasts, they're awesome because they're not planned, they're just kind of done. For Reed and Jenna, they're still going through that run through. They always want to make sure they get in enough practice so that they can clearly read their headlines, understand what they're doing, get the right fluctuation and emphasis within their scripts for the production. Looks like Tyler's moving us around a little bit. And I just already know it. I feel the question coming. The box. The box that Jenna is standing on. We do trick you guys a little bit. Some of our girls in the studio aren't as tall, and we like to make them a little bit more equivalent height with their anchors. Oh, thanks for the close-up. Good foot shot there, too. Cute heels, Jenna. We love the fit. We do put them on boxes, and we raise them up a little bit. That's when we're doing the camera. If you can see that Cronkite News logo right next to her, it gives you a better shot so that she's level with it. All right, audience, this is your time. All 22 of you. I know someone has to have a question. Hit us with it. Tyler, you're back.
Emma, the one thing, so the one thing, right now what we're going through, this is the run through of the show, right? So what you just heard, what I tried to bring you to, is Jenna's introduction to the reporter package. It's going to come back to one of our anchors, so right now they can see the package on the screen that I'll show you all in a bit, and then they'll read again. So right now when it's quiet like this, they're not doing anything, they're just watching, waiting, preparing for their next read. Something really interesting that they can prepare while something else is going on. It's a lot of multitasking. Then when you get out of the package, boom, right back into anchor mode, and that smile on it, maybe a serious face, move the next section. So I'll bring you guys right into that as soon as we get to it.
And I think a couple other important things to note. Anchoring isn't just reading. You kind of have to have your personality, and that personality has to diversify between stories. We have some serious stories. The other day, Emma Parkhouse, she covered a story on migrant deaths that were near the border, and when you're fronting that package or one of the reporters is talking about it or the anchor is previewing it, you're typically not going to have a huge smile on your face. You're talking about a serious subject. So being able to have appropriate tone and facial expression while you're telling a story is a key factor for being an anchor. What you're looking at is Tyler showing you the screen attached to our studio cameras for what they see. And while they're seeing this, they actually have little earpieces tucked in that you can't see because we want to keep them secret. You can see on Jenna's leg there, she has a bunch of wires strapped to her. One of them is her microphone clipped onto her jacket. That's how we project to the camera so you can hear better. The other one is the one that's attached for her earpiece. So over on the left side, maybe Tyler can move the camera here in a second, you're going to see the control room. That's how they give their cues. That's how the anchor hears all the production happening behind the scenes. We're loving Reed's style. Reed does have style. He has some fancy suits. He gets questions about him all the time. That's our awesome control room. You can see Alex, you can see Angel, you can see Jim Jacoby in the back. Can't see who else was back there, but they're a great production team. They do so well every day, and they work really hard on things like our graphics that you're seeing behind Reed that reads COVID-19 variant threats.
1% of the cases TGen has sequenced in our state since December, but another variant that started much closer to home may be a bigger threat. The so-called California variant is responsible for about 60% of the cases in California and 16% in Arizona.
So what you just saw Reed do was the anchor intro, or what we call the anchor tag to a package. So that's going to be an important piece of information or some sort of fact-based data that we give to be like, hey guys, this is the story we're about to tell you, and this is why you need to know it. So that's how we introduce that information. Faith wants to know, how do the anchors know what to wear? And where does Reed get his fancy suits? You know what? I think we're just going to have to make Reed post a bunch of links to all of the Cronkite social pages to let us know where he gets these outfits from. But for an anchor, it's very important what you're wearing. Typically, you want to wear brighter colors, things that complement either your skin tone or your hair color. and you want them to be solid. We try and avoid patterns. It actually moves on the screen if you have pattern things on.
Scientific advancements are allowing for the design of game-changing masks. Abigail Fairwick shows us the mask being called the COVID killer, created by one local company.
Okay, Emma, do we want to ask Reed about his suits while we're in this package?
Yes, we do. Read all of our viewers. They want to know, where do you get your suits from?
Alright, we're gonna ask about your suits. Where do you get your suits from?
It's a very personal question. I get them from Tyler, which is a European brand. So, they're actually really cheap, and they have a lot of colors, and I like to be a little bit outside the box when it comes to that. So Tyler, they're there for all the really nice out-of-the-box suits. So, yeah, that's why European.
All right, you heard it right here, ladies and gentlemen. He goes European. Maybe that's our problem. We're shopping in the wrong country. But Jenna also has some amazing outfits that she comes in with. They're both very fashionable, very stylish. Obviously, they look great on camera. Otherwise, we wouldn't have them up there. Hey, Tyler, why don't you ask Jenna what her favorite outfit or color to wear on camera is and why?
I can do that. Jenna, wait, hold on. So this is where it gets tricky because we don't know when she's going to read or not. So she is currently about to read, you think?
Yeah, we're working around live studio
She's
production.
the director. That's our core director, Shroud. Evan right there. Yes. So Evan has the feed. He's trying to let me know when to let Jenna talk, but also she has to practice. So we have a complicated setup here, but we'll figure it out. And we'll figure out the secret behind Jenna's fits too at some point, because we know Jenna's always got the fits. So actually, little known fact about Jenna, taking a lot of fashion classes. So it is her minor, so that's where the fits come from. She's getting grades for it, so it's important.
And Jenna is a fashion minor, and she also mentioned that she would love to do something like work at E! News or wink wink have your own talk show one day. So she's got that whole department covered and is A+ ready for that per usual.
Like, it feels like we have time. Do you want to just tell us? Oh, just kidding.
February is typically the height of the season, but experts say a common thing right now and virtual schooling is likely down entirely. This is a cause that leads to the hospital being concerned about an influx of patients overwhelming emergency rooms and stockpiling.
It's been a beautiful week across the valley, with temps in the 80s. We're about to cool things off as we head into the weekend. Melissa Zaremba joins us now with more on that. Melissa?
Alright, this is a really fun part that I want to show y'all. Emma. So, Melissa is pre-recorded, which means that although you see me here, she is not actually in front of the green screen, right? Magic. This is TV magic. She recorded this about an hour ago. That's what we're getting. This is the behind-the-scenes stuff. You only get here on Twitch. Because of COVID, because we take the talking to everybody far apart, this is what you're seeing in the broadcast right now. But again, in the studio, she is not here. She is working on other reporter packages. You can see her over there. She is doing things to be a reporter because she wears so many hats for the contact news. But here's this beautiful letter segment that you all will get later at 5:30.
Yeah.
Yes, and another important thing to note is, yes, she pre-records it and you guys see that on the screen, but when she is filming her weather segments, whether they're live or pre-recorded, that green screen is all that she sees the entire time. Those numbers aren't posted anywhere. Those maps aren't on like a TV behind her. We just have screens on the side that tell her the actual temperatures for weather. She, again, like Tyler, ad-libs the entire thing. right off the top of her head, she lets you guys know what's going on in our evening, daily, and weekday forecasts. Those are also introduced back on our Cronkite News at 5:30 p.m. every day on Arizona PBS.
District officials say they have to make these decisions because of declining enrollment, and tonight's hearing is a chance for the public to voice their concerns.
So it's a little bit hard to hear them in the studio. Again, we are trying to practice COVID precautions and safety regulations while we're here. So getting a little bit closer to Reed and Jenna is something we're trying to work on, but avoid at the same time, just because we don't want to get COVID, spread COVID, all those bad things, because we are in a global pandemic. So we do have a little bit difficulty hearing them because we can't be as close as we would like to be. And then we do have the delay with Tyler as well, but we're working on it because we want to be able to give you guys as much information as we can. My personal favorite Cronkite experience, I think, would have to be in my broadcast class. Speaking of COVID, I did advanced television broadcast reporting my junior year. So last year, I switched out of that class so I could take it with another professor. It was a guest professor. Her name was Susan Leskovich. She's an amazing woman. She was actually a reporter and a correspondent for CNN for quite some time. The class consisted of me and 12 other women in the course. It was very small, very intimate, very female empowerment class, and I'd never had something like that before that was so driven towards one subject, but it was just the best time. And then the pandemic hit. So we only got to hang out together until about February, March-ish, right before, because we went to spring break and never came back. We transitioned into online completely via Zoom. All of our coursework was on Canvas. We didn't get to meet in the building anymore, which was very unfortunate. But it actually produced one of the best courses I've ever had. It was such a challenge as a journalist and a student to, use those innovative skills that we've been working on at our time here at Cronkite and on our own to produce packages and teach ourselves how to work through something. Because, coronavirus, we're getting out vaccines and stuff, but it's never going to completely going to go away. It's something we're continuously going to have to deal with and learn to live around. So I then got the opportunity to, learn my in-field courses and then go home and do the exact same thing, but with an amazing support system. And I would not have had that without Cronkite, because that's where that professor came from, who is now a good personal contact and someone that I can use as a mentor and talk to about absolutely anything. She's just the best. So if you are a Cronkite student, get your chance to take a class with Susan Leskovich if you can. And shout out to all my girls that were in that class. Some of them are graduated, some of them are master's students, some of them are juniors this year, and then some of us are seniors and graduating in May. And then, so I mentioned before, I am a reporter for Cronkite News. We have a ton of reporters. We're actually one of the largest collegiate newsrooms, so we do have a lot of people that come in here and work for us either in person, remote, or a little bit of both for a hybrid experience Monday through Friday. As a reporter, my beat is money. Everyone has something they work on. We have everything from next generation, education, politics, money, and social justice. They all have their own team. So you have a different director assigned. You have different reporters that you work with for digital, broadcast, and print. So we all have different areas of journalism that we work on, but within the same topic range. So we get you that information on so many different platforms. For myself, I'm a broadcast reporter, so I go out and I do videography-based pieces. So we interview sources, we film, we get what's called B-roll. So when we're doing voiceovers, those are little videos that you see on screen correlating to the things that we're talking about. As a journalist, it's our job to inform the community in positive ways that give you information that you need to know or that you should know. So if it affects you or the people around you, you're aware and able to communicate that. So that's what I do as a reporter. When I'm in the studio, I do editing, I do voice tracking through Adobe Audition. So sit down with your little mic, record your voiceovers. We use Adobe Premiere to edit all of our packages together via video and audio. For those of you that don't know, we also have Cronkite News to Go. That's our podcast radio version of the show. So you can catch all these great sound bites and audio versions of our stories on that. And the way that you can do that is if you have a smart speaker at home, so Google Play system, Alexa, all those good things, all you have to do is say, Alexa, play Cronkite News to Go, and you'll get a daily update with all that information. So just another simple way to catch Cronkite News, hear some of your favorite people, and get your news. It's really great. So it sounds like they're going to run through a couple more headlines again. I mentioned before, right now they're practicing. Not everybody's perfect, and we don't expect them to be. Everybody here is a student, and we're learning, and we want the show to be as best as we can. So we do this run through for everybody on the production side and everybody in the studio side to get the chance to work on it, to make it exactly the way they want it to be before we film. So when you're watching this, you'll see them go over some of the same headlines 1, 2, maybe even 3 times just to really get it down and hone it in. And we have Tyler back.
So Emma, you have a fun behind the scenes story. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. I don't know if you guys noticed. Jenna did a wardrobe thing. A packaging engine, like a director, come in, change her wardrobe, give her a different jacket. We did a few rehearsals with that jacket. Then realized, and this is the magic of TV, that, oh no, we had already recorded headlines from that first jacket, and now we have to go back. So, I'll bring you over to Jenna, to put perspective on everything. This is big breaking news here today at Cronkite News. This is the story today. This is the time. So, go to the source, real quick. So Jenna, tell the people what happened.
What we had forgotten is that we already recorded.
It happens sometimes. It's part of journalism. I filmed a stand-up. You can see, I'm not sure who is pre-recording over there right now, but I did a stand-up for one of my packages not too long ago. Had a super fun newspaper print shirt on, very journalist of me. Had to refilm the entire thing because it looked like my shirt was moving on the screen because the print was so busy. So, that's why we emphasize how important it is what we're wearing during these live productions and things like that. And sometimes brighter colors, other things will pop and just make you look so much better on camera. So, there are times that we switch out wardrobe or that we try other options, but very important that if we're going to do the same broadcast, we need to have them wearing the same outfit for every segment that we're going to put onto the show. Otherwise, it looks a little strange and looks like it was recorded on different days when we, in fact, record everything in a one-day time frame. So for those of you, because we do have some high schools tuning in, for anyone that is going to be a freshman that's thinking about coming to Cronkite, it is one of the best experiences ever. One of my absolute favorite things about being a Cronkite student is we go to ASU, which is one of the largest universities in the country. We are huge. We have so many students, and sometimes that can be super overwhelming and almost intimidating to people, especially if you're a little bit on the shyer side. But we have multiple campuses. So the Cronkite News Studio in our Cronkite building is actually located at our downtown Phoenix campus. It's not in Tempe, Arizona. So with that being said, we have a smaller campus. So it's a big community in a smaller fraction. So you get to know so many people. It's I call Phoenix the biggest little town you'll ever live in. You will meet so many different people from so many different places. You'll talk to them for an hour and find out you both know 27 of the same people from some random aspect. And I just think that's so cool. I'm a people person. I love getting to meet new people around the building and doing the same major. So I think Cronkite is an amazing place to be if you want to do that. There are so many people that have similar interests to you, so it's very easy to connect. And because it's such a tight-knit community in a smaller area, it takes away those intimidation factors and the overwhelmingness of like trying to run to your class because you have 15 minutes in between. So the campus is beautiful. It makes you feel, I felt like an adult. You come in here, you're like 18 years old, you're in college, but you feel grown. You're going to college. You have this whole new setting. It's not high school anymore, but being downtown, it's like living in the city. You're having a regular interaction. You feel like you're almost going to work rather than an obligation of school. It's just such a fun place to be. We got some more comments though. So do they go through a vocal class? Reed has a smooth voice. Is this learned through school? So we don't, unless I'm wrong, we don't have vocal classes at Cronkite. So this is straight natural talent for a lot of our anchors and for On Here and the Cronkite News to Go. We do have, the closest thing would be radio courses. Of course, your professors, when you're learning to track your stuff in Adobe Audition, which is the audio and the voiceovers that you hear for packages that you create, you get tricks for breathing, you get tips and tricks for water, hot drinks that you should be consuming, foods that you should be eating, timeliness, things like that. Right now it's a little bit harder with masks because we inhale them with our breaths, so it's a little bit more difficult to do that. However, there's not necessarily a voice training or specific course that you go through. It's just kind of learned and picked up throughout the way. We have what we like to joke about, not our customer service voices, but our reporter voices. So the fluctuation, the tone, the way that you present something, typically a little bit more different than how you're going to be speaking when you're just hanging out with your friends. We got a comment, Susan is the best. Susan is the best. Oh, looks like, I think Tyler's waiting to see if we're still talking.
Emma, we're going to stop all of this. Emma, so what was happening is our viewers couldn't hear what you and I, so we want to check and see if now the viewers can hear in the studio. I'm working.
Viewers, can we hear?
We have a headline maybe. I don't know, can you hear us?
Anyone in the chat, just give me a thumbs up.
Apparently, Emma, I'm being told they cannot hear us. So, I'm going to step out, and we'll keep going. All right, you got this.
We're still going. We're still going. Even if they can't hear us, we're going to keep it recording. So, Tony Valdez News asked, is it interesting? It's interesting to hear you talk about filming and B-roll. Do you actually use film cameras? Yes, we do. So some people will use a DSLR, which is kind of like regular photo camera that you'll see to film packages. You'll see that a lot for sports videography. But when we go out and film our video packages, we actually have real big video cameras that they use. They have all of the crazy settings. They're just like the ones that you see for regular television news. We do have that equipment here. For students that are here, you're actually able to check out that professional equipment. So throughout your courses, while you're at Cronkite, multimedia, videography, Cronkite News, sports production, all those things in between, that's going to be what you use. You get tripods, you get different types of microphones, you get different speakers, you get windshields, lighting kits, you get the cameras, you get anything you could possibly ever need and anything you would want to learn about. You can kind of see behind me over here, which they're a little cut off. They're drones. Right now, we don't have anyone in studio that has a drone license to fly them and film with them, but we have had students in the past that did. So we have drones in here to do what I called before B-roll, so the different video, different shots that you see. So it looks like, too, we have a little bit of trouble going on in our studio, so we won't be hearing from Reed, Tyler, and Jenna for just a minute. We're trying to troubleshoot those problems. Thank you guys for being so patient and sticking with us. This is our first week doing Twitch, So again, we're students, we're learning ourselves, so we're trying to bring it to you if we can. We have Sarandon Raboyne. She has been kind of leading this whole innovative series, so huge shout out to her for being right there in the studio, working on all the issues endlessly to make this as best as we can. Looking at more of these over here. Oh, it looks like they're getting ready to start filming the actual show. Right there, what you're seeing, so Tyler has it viewing on the teleprompter. So in that little green line where it says Jenna, that's Jenna's cue that she's going to be reading that. The words under it are the script. So that's going to be the introduction to the packages and stuff that she's reading and telling you guys about. When they start to go, the teleprompter moves upward and it's a mirror. So on the bottom half, the screen is actually where the words are coming from, and then it projects it onto that mirrored half on the top. In the control room, they have a little dial that they move, and that moves the words on the screen. We typically try and have whoever's running what's called the teleprompter follow our anchor. We want to read at their pace so it's natural and they don't get caught up. Sometimes it doesn't always happen, but you can see Angel right there. She's working the teleprompter today. And then Mackenzie is next to her. She's one of our lead producers as well. Both those ladies are awesome and always here working real hard. With the teleprompter as well, if you guys saw that time code on the bottom, that is live second by second time so that they can see what's on the clock, how long we're running it for, and when their cues are coming up. And then we did have another comment here on Twitch. Talked about the B-roll and the filming. Do you or your peers feel they missed any of the Cronkite experiences because of COVID? Yes. Just like the rest of the world for everything and anything, family, friends, school, work, vacations, whatever it may be, we missed out. I am a senior myself, so I'm super sad that some of my friends who have become family to me, I didn't ever get to have class with them again. I totally we had lunch today in what's called the First Amendment Forum, because freedom of speech, First Amendment, we love it. So that's kind of one of our mottos here at Cronkite that we always talk about, something we follow by our journalistic guidelines. We have a whole forum named after that where we have big TVs with different news stations playing. That used to be essentially the social hall for Cronkite. So all of the students, whether you're in Cronkite News, you were a freshman, you just had classes. I had friends that lived at Roosevelt Point and Taylor Place, which are the student living and the dorms here downtown. They would just go and have lunch with their friends. They would just hang out. It was kind of like a community place for us to all meet at the beginning of the day, in the middle, at the end, things like that. So like I mentioned before, I took that advanced broadcasting course with Susan Leskovich and a handful of other girls who were amazing humans, and didn't get to finish the class with them in person. Like, we would have loved to do a group hug and a big picture, but it ended up being a virtual version of that. Same thing with Cronkite News in studio. There were some seniors last year that were here, and their Cronkite experience got cut short, and they had to learn how to become reporters, applying for their big boy and big girl jobs right off the bat, going into a pandemic. And so many of them performed so well, got everything up and running. The organization worked very hard to make it a continuous broadcast for all of you viewers at home. So being in the studio now, huge blessing. Some of our classes are hybrid experiences, so you get the opportunity. You do not have to come in person. It does not affect your grade whatsoever. Our priority at ASU, at Cronkite, within our community is to keep everybody safe and make them feel as comfortable as possible. So when you do this, and you can change your mind at any time too, you can sign up for a completely remote experience. You can sign up for a hybrid, which is you come in on the days that you want to, and you just let us know ahead of time so we can give you a socially distanced desk to work out for the day. Or you can say, you know what? I'm comfortable with wearing a mask every day and sanitizing and distancing myself from my peers, but I want to be in studio and get that experience. So a lot of us do different. I personally have a hybrid experience. I did that just because on certain days I'm not going to be in the studio anyway because I'll be out filming and doing things like that. For reporters that are going out and filming, we also practice COVID guidelines there as well. So if we're interviewing people in person, we're interviewing them 6 feet apart. So a camera is set up here and they're set up over there. And we use what are called boom or shock mics, like the ones that you see on TV that they hold all the way across the screen. We use those so that we can pick up the audio to use for our videos. We always ask our sources to wear a mask when we do their interview. Otherwise, we simply will not interview them, just because it's our priority to keep our journalists safe and keep the community safe, because we don't want to spread coronavirus. It's so terrible already. We just want to get everybody vaccinated. Ooh, my favorite class at Cronkite. My favorite class at Cronkite. I gotta think about this one because I've had some really fun classes. I personally have a passion for radio. I've always loved doing that kind of live, on the air, talk show-esque versions. So with Professor Casavantes, I took a radio course, and that was just a really fun time. You learned how to be a reporter and a journalist for radio, which is a little different at times from being, a broadcast journalist, because there's no video. You really have to learn to use the animation and power in your voice and your diaphragm to communicate these stories. They can't see you. They can't watch you move. Like right now, I talk with my hands all the time. They can't see that. So I have to be able to have personality within my voice. So learning to do things like that becomes a key factor for those types of journalists. Awesome thing to do. Another one also with Professor Casavantes, he did a war and media class. So it was something that randomly sparked my interest, learning about journalists who go and report in the field for wars and battles, from anything from the Vietnam War to World War II to going into Afghanistan. Bunch of different stuff. Scary things, and props to all those journalists, because it's dangerous. They don't get like a little body shield that protects them, and someone's not gonna go after them just because they're like, I'm the media. They risk their lives every day to tell you those stories and bring that information to you. So it was really awesome that Cronkite had such random but diversified informational courses that gave me the option to take them. Oh, my favorite story that I have reported on. I gotta think about this, because for classes, when you're kind of learning how to do it, you have so much free range. There's a lot of different things that you can talk about and do. My personal favorite was actually during quarantine. So we had to be able to film and interview and do everything from home because we were on state lockdown. And for Cronkite journalists, we were asked to actually not go out in the field whatsoever, again, for everybody's safety. A package that I chose to do was on a company called EdSmart, and they were giving out a grant during COVID to help people with their bills, but in a fun way. And for those of you that don't know me, I am a huge Harry Potter nerd. I am a total Ravenclaw. I love all the nerdy stuff. Harry Potter fandom is one of them. They were actually doing a enter contest for someone to do a Harry Potter movie marathon while live streaming it on their Twitter and continuously tweeting about the movies, reactions, I guess spoilers, their thoughts, anything you could think of. And I believe it was a $1,000 grant. So you could go on their website, you could enter to do it, and you would do a continuous stream of it. So it looks like what Tyler is showing us, and this is what our anchors are seeing, and this is on the broadcast. It's part of a package. This package is actually about masks that are being created and distributed to a local school here in Arizona that are supposed to kill the coronavirus. So they're meant to kill off certain germs. So one of our reporters went and did this package today and put it together. So you'll see that tonight on Arizona PBS at 5:30. Not if, but when you tune into our show tonight. Looking at our other, do the anchors use the desk? So before, we typically had the anchors using the desk. They would have two of them sitting there on the other sides of it, in between that and the railing. Right now, we are not using the desk just because of COVID purposes. We're having them separate themselves out a little bit more. That way we can make sure we have that 6 feet apart. You can't see it with Jenna's because she has a box on it, but on the floor where Rita's standing, there's a little orange X T mark, And that's kind of like a, hey, you're going to stand right in this vicinity. We have lighting set up so that obviously they look optimal and prime while they're doing it. And that's how we space them out within the newsroom. All right, let's see what else we can talk about here. Journalism for me. Okay, so I'm a people person. Like I mentioned before, I hope that you can tell that as I'm communicating with you as well. But it's just so fun that your job every day is to talk to new people, to learn new things. And it's not even, I guess boring isn't the right word, but it's not like sitting down and going to a math class or sitting down and going to a history class where it feels like an obligation or redundant to do. Every day we get to come in here and we get to tell people stories. We have the opportunity to talk about super happy, fun things like Skating for Layton was a story we just put out about a 9-year-old girl who was a Coyote super fan who unfortunately passed away from cancer. But they did a 19-hour skating, I'm not sure what the right word is, but they skated consecutively for 19 hours just to raise a scholarship and funding in her name, which was super sweet. So that story was told by a few of our sports reporters here at Cronkite News. Jenna actually did a story not too long ago, and it was one of her favorite pieces she's worked on for sex trafficking here in the Valley. It's a big issue. Our numbers are very high compared to other states in the U.S. It's a very intimate and close-knit piece that she was able to connect with and get to know these people on such a personal level and able to highlight their stories in a way that you can feel like you can connect with them, sympathize, and empathize. So that's why I love journalism. I can pretty much say that's why all of my colleagues are also doing that as well. And while you guys are here, again, I mentioned at the beginning, but just in case we have any newcomers that are on, follow us. Cronkite News puts out amazing information for you guys every single day. It's the news that you want to know, and it's local. It's real easy for you guys to access. And if you can't get it on your TV, or you just don't have time at 5:30 to sit down and watch it, that's okay. You can find all of our streams, all of our newscasts and productions on YouTube on our Cronkite News page. Also follow us on social media. We have Facebook, we have Instagram, we have Twitter, and now we have Twitch. So all of those are going to be at Cronkite News. So it's going to be a consistent platform, consistent username, super easy to find us. So definitely look for us on those. And I'll give you guys a little sneak peek that we haven't told you about just yet. But we've covered every platform except TikTok. However, we're getting there. We're going to be coming to you guys starting March 1st, which is also part of our innovation series, 30 days of 30 TikToks. So every single day, you'll get to see a different TikTok. It can be anything from behind the scenes in the newsroom, what our anchors are doing, kind of just funny, trending things that are happening that we use to mold into a way to tell you stories a little bit more creative and in a quick way that you can enjoy. This is also going to be able to expand our demographic and who we reach out to. We want to be able to tell the people the news as much as we can and to whoever we can get the opportunity to. So I can tell you on Tuesday, I was in the studio with Tyler, with Reed, a handful of other people filming our first TikTok. See, there's Jenna dancing. She's got the moves. She's got the grooves. Yes, she knows we're watching her. But yes, no, before and after the shows, we're always dancing. Our TikToks, it's going to be that energy right there. Look at her. She knows. She's doing the dance. So imagine a TikTok with that and your newest COVID data. All the updates. You want to see it. I filmed the first one that we're going to be having the other day. So I know I'm super excited. So also go on TikTok, please. We'll probably be posting them to our socials as well. So if you don't have TikTok, don't worry. We'll make sure you see it in a different way. And let's see. Do we have any more updates? So we talked about some of the stories that I report on. We talked about news. That little screen you just missed that Tyler walked by. This is our newsroom, by the way. Those are all the desks that we work at. A couple of edit bays. Every morning with COVID, we get assigned a desk. So you stay at your desk. That's your little workstation. Clean it before and after. The TV that you saw when we walked by, it said the Cronkite Sports Report. So within our newscast every day, we obviously have our main news anchors. That's going to be Jenna and Reed today. They tell you all the headlines, the stories that we're working on. But Cronkite Sports Report. A1 camera skills right here, Tyler. You're really following this. It's amazing. We have a sports anchor as well. So we do a sports update for you guys. So we go ahead and we pan over to the other camera when it's their turn, and they do the exact same thing. If you were viewing our Twitch on Tuesday, Sarandon Raboyne was the anchor for that, and she did the Cronkite Sports Report and gave you all of our sports news and updates for that. That's Christina Leonard. That's one of our executive directors. She can't hear us, but we're going to give her a wave. This is an angle. If you are working our camera, that's what you see, and that is how we film it. And so this semester is actually exciting. I mentioned to you guys earlier that we did weather. Tyler got the wave in too. We did weather. Today was Melissa Zaremba. She was our weather girl. Tyler does it on Tuesdays. We did not have weather last semester. Just because of COVID, it made it significantly more difficult, but it has been reintroduced to the studio. So Tyler's giving you guys a nice little wide shot. Those TVs hanging up on the left and the right, those are the only screens aside from the mirrored camera when they're filming that they can see the numbers and the actual weather graphics on. Everything that they're pointing to, and they're like, today is going to be 50 degrees. It's a green screen. They see absolutely nothing. So it's a little bit harder. They walk on that little tightrope line, but they do their job. It's phenomenal. And I mentioned before, on Tuesday, you saw some of the other reporters doing that because we cover different things every day that we're streaming on Twitch. We are live, but if you did not catch us live, oh, that's the little line you got to stay on. That's the tightrope line. You have to walk on that line when you're weather doing, whichever way you want to say it. If you have not seen our Twitch streams from Monday through Wednesday, or you want to go back and watch this one or another one, you can also do that on Twitch. But again, follow, subscribe. It's free. Make an account. You can catch all of that information right there. And you can watch pre-recorded ones. You can watch our live ones. And then the TikToks, you can find them on YouTube. So we'll have, like I said, if you're not on TikTok, but you subscribe to our YouTube channel, we'll have them posted there as well. And that's also content that you can totally share. They're going to be fun and entertaining and adorable, and you're going to get to see all of these people that are in the newsroom in those TikToks as well. So you don't get to see them once or twice, but 3 or more times on all different platforms. So big round of applause to everybody that did that. We only have a few more minutes here, but I just wanted to say thank you guys so much for tuning into Twitch. It's awesome. This is something new that we're trying out, so we're really in awe of all the support that you guys give to us and our team and our school to be able to do these things and to push us to try new things like this, because we have a great time doing it. This is so much fun. I came in today, I was like, we're hosting Twitch. We're having a great time. It adds diversity in our newsroom and some fun stuff. We got Reed over here. We definitely need to say bye to all of our anchors before we tune out. We'll wave to Reed. He'll wave back. We can't hear them. We got to get to Jenna. I don't know where she's at. Running through the studio. So we technically have like 3 or 4 sets that we really use in the studio. We just film them from special angles so you guys can't tell. Got her here. Jenna's there. She's coming. She's waving bye to the people. Tyler, you gotta flip it. Tyler has been an awesome co-host. We have been going back and forth, working through technical difficulties, trying to make this work for you guys. But he is here. He's powering through it. We had a dream team today working on this, so it's been so much fun. I think he's getting ready to come on the camera. There's Tyler, yay! Okay, cool. Well, again, thank you guys so much for joining in. Again, catch Arizona PBS Cronkite News at 5:30, Monday through Friday. I'm Emma Parkhouse. We'll follow you on Twitch. They're getting ready to do it. They're going to do their dance party. We're going to do our dance party in here because we're going out live. But again, Cronkite News, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch. Follow us on all of them. Follow us on all of them. We'll see you guys next time live.